What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Cleanspark CLSK for marbles today. Marbles, you didn't request it, but you were talking about, you were like surprised at my 100x prediction from here, and it not necessarily a prediction, but more of a statement that it's possible to achieve a 100x. I don't know if it will. I would hope that it would, but I do think that this stock has the potential to do that, if not by the end of this bull cycle for crypto, at some point down the line. You can see here, and I'll kind of go over my reasons for that. That's kind of the inspiration behind this video. It's not like day-to-day TA, more of like a reasoning for why I think we could go that high. So without any further ado, let's get into it. From the all-time low, a lot of volume. A lot of volume came in, right? We had a miraculous kind of move up. Here we're having even more volume off of this low. Higher lows, volumes building. I would assume that as time goes on, we'll see even more volume than this, of course. If we look at this from like a kind of pattern perspective, you have your atom here, which is a V-shaped bottom, and your Eve here, which is like a U-shaped bottom. Atom and Eve bottoming patterns. Generally, they're double bottoms. Generally, something like this would go lower. It'd be like a double bottom. But this works. It looks like it, in my opinion. This, like, I've been doing charts for a little bit now, and this definitely looks like a bottoming pattern to me. And if it is, then that would suggest that we're going to go higher, right? We have higher lows. We would look for a higher high. If this is an Adam and Eve bottom, the way that you would measure it would be you would take your lowest point in the pattern to this kind of center focal point here, and then the breakout would be once you get above that high there, your price target's all the way up here, which is at $1,861. Now, I don't know if we're going to achieve that. That's a bit dramatic. From the current price, we wouldn't be talking about a 100x. We would be talking about, that's like a 500x essentially, right? Basically like a 500x. So, which is possible. That is the pattern, move right there. That's the measure move for the pattern. But maybe that takes, we're on the monthly chart, maybe that takes years, decades even, right? Or more than a decade. It doesn't have to happen this cycle. Talking about this cycle, though, if that's a 500x from the current price, a 100x might seem a little bit more possible, right? A 100x from here at $3.71 would give us a price of about $371, right? Somewhere right around there. If we look at this from an all-time high to all-time low perspective on a fib scale, you can see that our 1272 is right up here at just under $600. So if we were to break this all-time high, the way that you use this fib scale, from all-time high to all-time low, this is a very significant scale. We actually found our topping point right in the sweet spot. We wicked out of it, sure, but we right here on a closing basis, this is where we found our resistance was right at the golden ratio and between the 6-9, somewhere in the sweet spot there. We see that time and time again. We even, once we came down, checked back to the golden ratio as resistance, and then we went lower from there. We're actually finding support on the 382 and then came down, found resistance on it again. I do think the next time we go above this 382 that we're going to go above it, right? Or the next time that we go to this 382, we're going to go above it. And likely, you don't stop at the 0.5, you go back to the 618. And if we were to make a move that comes this close, after having higher lows with increasing volume, I would expect that we would break this high. I would, personally. Especially because this thing, let's just see, CLSK, stock, the market cap is so low. It's worth $567 million. Is a 100x even possible from there? Well, a 100x from here, from this price, would give us a $56.7 billion market cap, right? And that's definitely achievable. I don't think we've seen a mining stock achieve that kind of market cap yet, but it is definitely achievable, and we might see it happen this cycle, and it could be Cleanspark. It really could be. Especially if it gets, some popularity and flair, little attention thrown at it. The 1272 is all the way up here at $600. Again, a 100x would be in this like black zone of nothingness here, right? If we were to go here, that's where your 100x is. It's at like 370 right there, right? Right there. I would think that a greater than a 100x is even possible by the end of the cycle. We could see a move. You can see that when this thing likes to move up, or like it has a heading in general, it likes to do it fast down, fast up, fast down, fast, relatively speaking. If we were to take another move like this, let's just say this took from 2020 to 2021 there. It's about less than a year. and we moved up however much that is. I mean, I have it from bottom to top. So, if we were to do that same kind of movement, from here, I guess actually is what I would do from here, that would take us all the way up to the all-time high by, this time a little bit earlier than this time next year in August of 2024. And, the crypto bull market is expected to continue until about that time in 2025. So that's a whole nother year of price action. And again, if that would bring us to the all-time highs from the current price in that same amount of time as this movement here, if we were to see that, I would think that we would break all-time highs. And where are we going to go from there? I would think this 1272 at a minimum would be where we go. And I do think we'd probably find resistance there and stop out there. Let's just see real quick. I want to draw, from top to bottom here. Again, you have that fib up there at about 591. From top to bottom here, there's some deeper extensions that line up with this too. From this fib, from top to bottom, you've got your 1786 and your 1886. The 1272 on this greater fib is right in the midst there. A 100x, a little bit less than a 100x, would be from this top to bottom, right at the 1618, kind of in the middle of this black zone of nothingness, right? So there is a lot of stuff suggesting that we could go up here, especially if we break this high. And I think long before we even break this high, we're going to get a confirmation signal by breaking this high, because at that point we're going to have higher lows and higher highs on a macro scale with tremendous volume coming in, man. I would assume again that there's going to be more volume coming in as we go higher. And that's essentially why, man, I think that it's possible to see a 100x, even greater than a 100x in the stock by the end of the crypto cycle, because the end of this bull cycle for crypto, it's supposed to be, and it's supposed to be doesn't mean shit, right? It's supposed to be doesn't matter. It can end whenever it wants, but probably by the end of 2025, right? If not December, we're thinking sometime, middle 2025, something like that, somewhere in this little time frame here. To move up to this 1272, you basically just have to move at a trajectory like this, right? And that seems a bit extreme, but the pitch of this line is a lot less than the pitch of this line, right? It's basically like the same as the pitch of this line, but to the upside. And I don't think it's going to be a straight line all the way up there. I think, maybe you have a strong move up and then down. You like to move up fast, and I don't think that we've seen that yet. I think, relatively speaking, yes, from the low, we have gone up quite a ways. From a low to the current price even, we've gone up over 100%, but overall 336%. And that's a lot, but it's not as fast as some of these moves that we've seen in the past as far as going up or going down goes. So I think we've yet to see our kind of breakout from this bottoming area. I think we're getting it now. I do think that we're going to go higher from here. Let's see, from low to high there. Finding support on the 0.5. You don't generally find support on the 0.5, but I always like to say when you find significance on the 0.5, you get significant moves. But that can be, that can be wrong. Let's just see. 3 days, 1 hour left in this week here. We are up 1% today, whatever. We kind of had this double bottom right here with bullish divergence on the RSI. You can see you've got a low here and a higher low here. It's also kind of like a double bottom in your RSI, but it is, if we zoom it in, it is technical bullish divergence. This low is slightly higher than this low here, while this low in price is actually lower here. So that would imply an idea that we do have some upside coming. We had this bullish engulfing candle here to end the week last week. We're moving up this week. Yes, we're a little bit below that right now. Overall, I think this week is red, right? Yeah, barely. But it's Tuesday. We have 3 days left in the week to go up. Starting the week down and then continuing up, that's not out of the norm at all. If we look at the RSI here, we've been in this downtrend. We've been in this downtrend really for since July of this year. More noticeably like this condensed area since August. And this double bottom, this bullish divergence, could be the mark we need to break out of this downtrend in the RSI, thus giving us more upside potential, breaking out of this downtrend in the price itself. And I would think, from here, if we were to go up, if we were to break this downtrend, we are going to make a move that takes us above $7. By the end of the year, I don't know how high we're going to be. By the end of the year, I really wouldn't expect that we'd even be up above this high here, but potentially above $15. Even above $20 could be in the cards. Maybe we're below $10 still by the end of the year, but I do think that we're going to make strides higher one way or another from here. And, overall, I'm not trying to talk about the day-to-day stuff, but that bullish divergence is real, man. I really do like that. You do have, to a certain degree, hidden bearish divergence, don't you? Let's see. I'm going to adjust this a little bit so it's easier to see. So you have this high here. You have a higher high here, high, higher high. These are like little peaks right here, and then these highs here come in line with this here. Ooh, I don't know actually, because you're getting the closing lows here. No, because it's right here. It's at this. So here, this is a little bit higher than where we're closing here. So to negate this hidden bearish divergence, to make things look bullish again, you'd want to have the price by the end of the week, I would say, close above like $3.88. Close above $3. Technically, you'd want to close above $3.86. And I think, being at 375 right here, having this positive reaction, a kind of double bottoming look, bullish divergence, breaking out of this RSI consolidation phase, potentially to the upside. We are out of the bearish area of control, right? We even kind of checked back and bounced off it. I do think that things are in line. I think by the end of this week, we'll see more resolution, more resolve. That'll lead us to believe that the low is in for this thing. But overall, beyond the day-to-day stuff, the main reason I think that we can go 100x from here, if not more, given time, is the very real fact that we've just got this beautiful bottoming pattern. It looks to be, it's still yet to be proven. If we continue to go down from here, this look is just going to go away. But if we can go up from here, if we can get above this high while maintaining this low here, or not going too much lower than that low, I think it looks good, man. I mean, technically speaking, let's see, from low here to low there, we could go even lower. We could. If we were to put it on the closing basis, we could go even lower still. So, and still maintain this higher low trajectory that we've got. But this does look sort of like a bottoming formation in my opinion. And with that, you'd expect to see beautiful things whenever you do break out to the upside. And the breakout point is going to be, again, here, right here at $42. So if that's the breakout point, that's where you're breaking out from this pattern, this bottoming pattern. That's just the beginning, right? Like all this, of course, being down here at $3.74, moving all the way up to 42, it's going to feel like that's not the beginning at all. But truthfully speaking, from like a pattern perspective, when you break out of this, that is just the beginning. That's the beginning of your measure move, which again is ridiculous. And I don't know if you're going to achieve that. Maybe you will. It'll take years, I would say, not by the end of this cycle, but maybe cycles down the line. But that would take you, above $2,000 technically. And maybe you never do get there. You don't have to hit the measure move at all. It doesn't have to work like that. We are on the log scale. If we put this in non-logarithmic terms, let's just see if that pattern would look different. Let's just see though. Got to zoom it. You can see it looks a lot different taken out of log. From low here to high, if I can get this low to high, there you go. Though on this kind of scale, it does look more like a double bottom. We put that same kind of measure move, that would take us all the way up to $83, which isn't nearly the same, kind of growth, but that's still pretty impressive. Even from the current price, that's still, like a 30-something X. It wouldn't take us to new all-time highs, but again, it still would be an impressive move. And, I like to use log scale personally. That's just kind of what I use. Not because it's more encouraging or because it shares my bullish bias for this thing. No, that's not at all why I think. If we were to go here to where that was on the standard scale, that's at $84, right? So from here, from the current price, that would be an overall percentage increase of, that's like a 22x. So 22 times, or actually, is it a 22x or is it a little more? Let's call it a 23x. It's almost a 23x actually. 23 times 567. Let's do it. 23. Nope. Come on. 23 times 567, because it's 567 million, would equal 13 billion. $13 billion, okay? And $13 billion, we've seen these mining companies be worth like $20, $30 billion before. So that's around half, not even half on I think Riot achieved like a $28 billion or $30 billion, $32 billion market cap. I forget. Maybe it was Marathon at some point. But 100x from here, again, would put it at like a 50-something billion dollar market cap. I do think that, if there are cryptos that are worth tens of billions of dollars, even hundreds of billions of dollars, I think that a good mining company, let alone something that could potentially be the biggest mining company that's publicly available for trade, You know, we don't have Bitcoin ETFs in yet. There's not really a way for like the traditional world to get involved in crypto other than buying exchanges or like stocks from exchanges like Coinbase, right? Or buying mining company stocks, stuff like this. I think that the potential for this to see like hundreds of billions of dollars is there, tens of billions of dollars, definitely so. So, you know, just kind of re-implementing the idea that we can very likely go above this all-time high, and from there where we would go is, you know, the minimum extension again is right there below $600. So let alone the idea that somewhere in this zone of nothingness, if we were to do 100x, I very much do think that that's possible. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I feel like I've just like gone over the same stuff over and over again. Just because I've said that and I say it with conviction does not mean that it has to happen. I do believe that Cleanspark is going to do a 100x by the end of this cycle. Maybe I should rephrase it. I don't believe it's going to. I believe that it has a decent chance to. But I do believe that it'll achieve new all-time highs by the end of this cycle. That I feel more confident in saying that. I believe it will achieve new all-time highs by the end of this cycle. But, you know, as far as 100x goes, I think it has a solid chance of that. But, you know, it can, it can't. Who knows? You know, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. I'm just spitballing ideas here and as to why those ideas might make sense. So, you know, I got nothing else to say other than that. If you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up. I like Cleanspark a lot, man. I think that they're going places, you know, and even if they don't go to the high numbers that I'm saying, I still think you can make a decent amount of money on this thing. Even up to this previous high, right? That's still an 11x. That's still an 11x right there. And if we were to break this high, if we were to go up near this high, I would bet a lot of money that we would go above it. We'd find higher prices than that. So an 11x is not even the minimum. The minimum would be something like higher than that, right? Maybe to this previous monthly closing high up here, like a 15, almost a 16x, something like that. But anyways, yeah, that's all I got. If you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. I appreciate everybody who leaves comments, requests, whatever. All the subscribers, all the likes. You guys are awesome. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.